Stranger Things Season 5 is setting the stage for a shocking twist, and it looks like fan-favorite Eddie Munson might be stepping into the shoes of a long-forgotten villain. Even though we're all still bummed about his death in Season 4, new clues suggest he may return in a much darker role, potentially replacing the show's original 8-year-old antagonist. Could Hawkins' beloved metalhead become the new face of evil? The Upside Down has a twisted way of rewriting fates, and it looks like Eddie's fate might be changing. In the trailer for Stranger Things Season 5, one moment stands out as especially gut-wrenching, a solemn shot of Dustin visiting Eddie Munson's grave, only to find it defaced with cruel graffiti. It's a total punch to the gut, not just for us, still bummed about Eddie, but also, 'cause it shows how much Dustin's still hurting. It's not just a quiet moment, it's a look at all the pain and loneliness he's dealing with. Eddie wasn't just another person who died fighting the monsters, he was Dustin's hero. The cool, charismatic older guy who embraced his inner weirdo, who played Dungeons and Dragons like it was life or death, who lived boldly and without apology. Eddie was everything Dustin looked up to, confident, funny, brave in his own way, and, most importantly, a good person. That realness really stuck with Dustin, who always had a hard time fitting in. Watching Eddie die, sacrificing himself in a selfless act of bravery, was more than a traumatic experience. It totally wrecked Dustin. He held Eddie in his arms during his final moments, forced to witness the agony and final breath of someone he looked up to, someone who never got the redemption he deserved. But what makes it even worse is what happened after. Even though Eddie was a hero, Hawkins never gave him any credit. The town still thinks he's a bad guy, and the graffiti on his grave is a constant reminder. For Dustin, it's not just sadness, it's anger, feeling totally helpless, and a lingering sense that the truth may never be known. This kind of emotional weight is similar to what Max went through in Stranger Things Season 4. After witnessing the brutal death of her stepbrother Billy, she was just wrecked with grief, guilt, and emotional numbness. While her relationship with Billy was complicated, his death haunted her, especially because she couldn't save him, and because of all the things left unsaid. Max pushed her friends away, kept all her pain inside, and became Vecna's perfect victim, just drifting around in a haze of unresolved trauma. It seems like Dustin might be heading down the same road. His loss is still so fresh and raw. He could start isolating himself too, haunted by Eddie's last moments and consumed by the injustice of how his friend is remembered. As the final season unfolds, Dustin's grief could become a powerful emotional arc, just like Max's was. It's like, the real bad guys in Stranger Things aren't just the ones from the Upside Down. They're also the stuff inside us, grief, guilt, fear, and the feeling of being alone in a world that doesn't understand. The defaced grave is more than just a symbol of public scorn, it's the physical manifestation of Dustin's inner torment. And just like Max had to face her own demons to make it, Dustin might have to do the same. We'll see if he gets better or if things get even worse for him. But for sure, Eddie's death and all that pain will change who Dustin is when they fight for Hawkins one last time. Her story's so chilling because it's like, totally mirroring what's happening to Dustin after Eddie Munson died. Eddie was nothing like Billy, he was sweet, a little weird, and misunderstood, not scary, just made fun of, he was a total misfit, but he totally owned it. Eddie didn't care what anyone thought, but just like Billy, the Upside Down messed up his life. Vecna didn't take over Eddie's body, but he messed with everything around him, making people scared and violent until Eddie had to run and hide, and then fight back. When it mattered, Eddie didn't bail. He stood his ground and sacrificed himself, not for fame or to be forgiven, but because it was the right thing. And just like Billy, he died saving the kids who looked up to him. The thing that links these two stories is the awful fallout. Both characters died as heroes, but everyone else thought they were monsters. After they're gone, the people who really knew them are stuck with the awful truth, while the rest of Hawkins just keeps messing up their memories with hate and not knowing anything. Max and Dustin, even though they feel different things, are in the same boat. They loved someone with problems, saw them die like a hero, and are the only ones who get what was really lost. The town never gave Billy grace, and now, it's denying Eddie the same. That parallel, between two young characters forced to mourn in silence while shouldering the guilt and trauma left behind, strikes at the heart of Stranger Things' darkest theme, that the line between villain and victim is often blurred. Even when someone dies, the truth doesn't always win, and those left have to deal with their pain while no one else understands. Max hid her sadness, and Dustin might try to do the same. But if we've learned anything from Stranger Things, it's that the past always comes back, and in Season 5, their stories could come back in a big way, in a painful but powerful way. That brief glimpse of Dustin's grief in the Stranger Things Season 5 teaser trailer, standing alone at Eddie's vandalized grave, consumed by quiet devastation, hints at more than just emotional fallout. It may actually foreshadow the return of Eddie Munson in a far more twisted and terrifying form. I don't think he'll just magically come back to life. His death was way too real and important to just erase. But that doesn't mean he's totally gone. Stranger Things always messes with what's real and what's not, and since Vecna's still out there, he could totally mess with their heads. Like how Vecna used Max's bad memories, making her relive her worst thoughts, feeling guilty about Billy, and even making her see his ghost to mess with her, he could totally do that to Dustin. It might be the best way to wreck the whole crew from the inside. Vecna's strategy isn't just brute force, it's emotional warfare. He messes with your head, he digs into your regrets and makes you feel alone, using your sadness against you. Max almost didn't make it because of all the stuff she was trying to hide. She was still messed up about Billy, how he treated her, and she was feeling bad that he died. Vecna used that, making her think she wanted Billy gone, making her hate herself. Now, with Dustin, Vecna's got a new chance, and Eddie, who Dustin loves and everyone else misunderstands, is the perfect target. Eddie chose to stay behind in the Upside Down, but what if Vecna warps that memory? What if he makes Dustin wonder if it was really Eddie's choice? Or, even worse, makes him think he could have saved him if he'd just done something different. It's not hard to see Vecna making Dustin think Eddie died because of him, not as a hero. That's some seriously messed up psychological torture, and it's totally what Vecna does. The more messed up the Hawkins crew gets, the easier they are to take down. And going after someone as sensitive and loyal as Dustin? That's hitting them right where it hurts. This possibility opens up a darker, more emotionally complex storyline for Season 5. If Vecna messes with Dustin using Eddie's memories, it'll be a total gut punch. It'd be like Eddie's back, but in a messed up way, honoring his story while still keeping his death tragic. We know how strong Vecna's illusions are. Eddie could show up in Dustin's head, sometimes nice, sometimes super mean, a warped version of himself. And that internal struggle, with guilt and truth battling it out, could push Dustin to the edge. With Season 5 being the final battle, Dustin probably won't be the only one reliving a loss. Grief is a huge deal, and Vecna knows how to use it. Whether it's Hopper and Eleven, Lucas and Max, or Nancy and Steve, everyone in the group has scars, and Vecna will definitely exploit them. The emotional stakes are just as important as the monster fights, and this time, surviving isn't just about beating the bad guys, it's about dealing with their biggest fears, regrets, and heartbreaks. If you're just as excited and terrified for what's coming in Stranger Things Season 5, like this video and subscribe to Stranger's Freaks so you don't miss a single theory, trailer breakdown, or emotional moment from the Upside Down. Trust me, you'll want to be here when the final battle begins.